The church is for everyone. In my heart, I will always remember my father always telling me that the church is for everybody. All are welcome. But during this Christmas season, I see a lot of churches that mostly focus on themselves. All the beautiful things of Christmas and this Advent season, all are focused on the people that are already committed, that are already there. In fact, it's sometimes so easy to actually not want people that are not like us in our churches, in the middle of our Christmas services, which makes no sense to me. There's so many times when someone walks into our churches that may smell, look, act differently, be of different color, a different race, and we don't know what to do with them. In fact, we might even be scared. This is not everyone, but it's the majority of people that have never been taught from the pulpit that the gospel is for everyone. Another problem that I see is that many churches believe that it's a come and see us gospel, not an I'm going to come to you gospel. The gospel is clear that both are very important. I'm not saying that everything should be we go to them, but just analyze your own life, analyze your own church customs and events. Are they go to them attitude? Are they go to them type of events? Or are they a come and see events? Go and make disciples of all nations, starting in your own home, meaning your own family, your own neighborhood, your own city. It never says your own church community, your own synagogue, your own home church, your own Bible study. It says go and make disciples of all nations. And I think it's so ironic that in many ways, we have the nations of the world right here in our own neighborhoods. But sometimes we think that they need to leave our country, that they need to leave our neighborhoods and our societies, that I hope they are just like us if they want to stay in this country. If they're not like us, they better leave and go back to where they came from. The gospel is a go to them gospel. It also is a come and see, of course. Come and see Christ the King. But we have to be honest. Ask yourself, how do I feel when someone that's different than me comes into my church? How do I feel when I drive by people in my neighborhood that are different than me? Or is everyone just like me? Do I keep moving away from places where there are people different than me and keep looking for places where everyone looks just like me, thinks just like me, goes to the same kind of church like me? Why is that dangerous? Because then we can begin to exclude people from the gospel. Oh, it's good that we send money abroad. It's good that we send teams once a year to go see the niños in Mexico. That's all fine and dandy, but what about your heart? Remember, Jesus came to fulfill the law. He came to basically raise the bar, to ask, maybe you're doing the right things, but where is your heart? Maybe you're going to all the right things and putting on great events, but where is your heart? If someone walked into your event, to your Christmas Eve, to your Sunday morning service, your Advent celebration, and didn't look like you, would you be ready to welcome them? And let me go even further. Are you going out to get them into the church? If we really are a come and see type of place, then are you giving rights to people that have no rights? Are you making way for people that have 4 or 5 children who work late at night? Are you making a way for moms who are single parents who don't have a way to get to your place, to your church, to your event? Are you making schedules that are convenient for people that have to work nights, that have to work 2 or 3 shifts in one day to make ends meet? Now, are we supposed to be about everybody? No. But who is your neighbor? Who is the person next to you? Do you even know what they think like? What they need, who they are? Are their kids getting 3 and 4 and 5 and 10 Christmas gifts this Christmas? Or are those families in need? It doesn't have to be just people of color. It doesn't have to be people that are struggling. It can be an elderly person, a disabled young person. It can be someone who is a foreigner, who is undocumented, who is maybe in jail, or who just came out of jail, who is tattooed it up and who looks different and acts different than you and me. Practical steps. Evaluate your last 2, 3, 4 events, your last 2, 3 years of Christmas events. Are you seeing different people come in your church that reflect your neighborhood, your city, your community around your church? In the 3-mile radius around your church, are you seeing more of those kinds of people or less? Number 2, are most of the people in your community driving in 20 minutes or more? How many of them? What percentage? 60, 70, 80%. And then number 3, what are the demographics, socioeconomics, and age of your community? Are you mostly seeing people over 65 in your church? Let's say 80% that give the most. Or are you seeing a balance of young and old? I don't mean just little babies or little kids, but I mean young families. I mean 20-somethings. A balance that is healthy for any growing church should be about 50, 30, 20. Basically, you have 50% that are over 50, 30% that are over 30, and 20% that are under 30. That's a good balance for you to analyze your church and to see where you're going, where you've been the last 3, 4 years post the pandemic, and where you are today. And if there are some things that you're saying, man, we are not going or moving in the right direction. In fact, we're going backwards. And this is a time to say, we need to have a heart check. It's not about more ministries or more systems or having a better leadership team. It's about your heart. It's about asking the right questions. And it's not just about your heart. It's also about practical things that you can do to reach people that are not like us, to reach people that are in need in our neighborhood, to ask the questions, what do they need? How can we go to them? And then how can we bring them into our community? And then how often do they stick around? It's great to have a packed house on Christmas and Easter. But are you making room for those people, for those families, for those kids, for those different kinds of people in your neighborhood, in your city, in your community to stick around? What do they need in terms of small groups, family ministries, in terms of socioeconomic needs, in terms of spiritual questions that they have? Are they dealing with divorce, alcoholism, and pornography? Are they dealing with issues of being overwhelmed and being tired? Are they dealing with kids that are dealing with loneliness, alcoholism, depression, anxiety? And what is your church doing, besides, of course, the spiritual component, which is number 1, to provide practical ways for these families to get help? These are the questions that I ask myself all the time after 30 years of ministry. I'm not satisfied just having the room be 50% filled and having half the people give and have a third of the people be in small groups or sing along on a Sunday morning. My heart is really the heart that we all have, and that's the gospel of Jesus Christ. To evaluate our commitment to Jesus and to his church through the lens of come and see and go and make disciples. That is what we're committed to. That's what I want for you. That's what I'm praying for you this Christmas. Have a great rest of this Advent season. And if I can help in any way, please let me know. You can just click on the link at the bottom of this video for my consultation and for my free analysis of where you're at as a staff and as a church. Thank you for being here. I will see you next time.